Hello folks, I'm super excited to release this new version of the RSI Grid indicator. I pushed it out, I think it was last Friday, but I wanted to give a quick sort of summary of the changes that have been made to it so people can better understand what those changes are and how they can use them in their trading. What I've got on this screen here is the IONQ chart. This is the daily chart down here and the 2-minute chart up here. And on the lower here, what I'm going to be focusing on is where I've got this arrow. This is a day where coming into this day, I knew that we were going to be looking for a daily high or low on this trend. And so on this day, I was looking for it to get to hourly oversold conditions, which is typically a great spot to get long for a daily high or low in a trending stock, in a strong daily uptrend. So on that day, here's what happened. And I'm going to zoom, just go to this version of the chart. Over here in the orange, this is my pre-market. Blue here is after hours from the day before. And one second. And so I was looking for it to get to hourly oversold. And what I've got on this chart for indicators, I have this day trader levels. That's what these tabs and lines are. This is my day trader level indicator, which is another free one that I give away on TradingView. And it shows you the levels from the prior day that matter. So the high of day, low of day, value area high and low, point of control from that day, the halfway point from between the high and the low, and then the opening print and the closing print from the day before. And so you can see off the open, we came down, we touched the low of prior day, bounced back up, tried to get back through the open, failed, and came down again. So this had me looking for the long opportunity. And specifically watching the hourly oversold, which is the red line here. Now, this indicator is another one of mine called MTF RSI levels. I think it's multi-time frame RSI levels on TradingView because they won't let me change the name to the latest version I've used since I released the indicator. Once you set a name on TradingView, it's that forever unless you create a new version of an indicator. Anyway, currently I've got it configured to show me the 30-minute and the 1 hour oversold conditions. And what that means is when RSI gets to 30, when you get a 30 reading of the RSI in the 30-minute time frame, this is the price at which it hits that level. And when you get a 30 reading of RSI on the hourly time frame, this one down here, that's the price that it needs to reach to get to hourly oversold. So I'm always looking at these when I'm specifically scouting for an RSI position or level to be reached. And finally, most importantly, the star of the show, this is the multi-time frame RSI Grid, which I just put a new version of out on Friday. So if you double click this, you'll see you can view the RSI levels on all of these different time frames. I've got a few of them disabled just to reserve some space on my screen. And then this is just where that table of RSI levels appears, and the formatting, like I could switch this to show a decimal place if you want to have a little bit more accuracy here in what you want to see in terms of RSI numbers. I personally like to have it be round numbers like that. And then the colors that you want to use when RSI hits certain levels. So blue would be the normal level, like it's within the range of 30 to 70 and not extreme. This is if it gets into an extreme RSI level, it would switch the background to pink. And then white is the text color if it's either in normal or extreme levels. And then this orange one is if it's reached RSI overbought or oversold, but is not yet in the extreme setting, which I'll get to lower, then it'll change the text to be orange. So you get a little indicator that, okay, we're in overbought or oversold conditions, but we haven't gone extreme yet. And then finally, I've got this RSI stacking labels. So this is a new thing that has come out with this new version of the indicator. And what it really does is it shows you right here, you see where there's a green circle around this price point here, and it says 30M. What that means is that at the time that price got to this level, it was oversold on the 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the 30-minute time frame. And you can see that here, that it did push below this 30-minute RSI price level. And so this is when you see RSI stacking in this way, where it's like multiple time frames of RSI getting overbought or oversold, that's pretty important information to have, and so that's why I let you see it here on the screen. You can see it did not reach 1 hour oversold, and in essence it front ran 1 hour oversold and it didn't get there. But either way, I'm looking at this chart. I know we're scouting a daily high or low. I want to get it when we're in some sort of RSI climax-y position on the downside. And I can see, because of the RSI levels that I'm looking at and because of the multi-time frame RSI grid here, that it's showing me, look, we're 5-minute, 15-minute, and 30-minute oversold. And finally, we have my favorite thing to make an entry, which is price. So price came down, set this low, tried to bounce, couldn't do it, came down, tried to go lower, could not do that, and we get this hammer candle, which is your go signal for the upside. And so this to me was like a beautiful confluence of how I use all of these indicators to figure out how to get into a trade, right? So from the very onset of this trade, which is a beautiful one, we had price fails at the open, continues to go lower, bounces off the low of prior day, then fails to go higher. So there's your go signal for the downside. Comes down, breaks through the low of the day, falls straight through until it hits a bottom. And this is a stair step move on the 2-minute. Tries to break the stair step, can't do it. Stair step meaning one time framing, some people call it, where the high of each candle here is lower than the high of the prior candle. And it does that again and again and again and again until here. And then finally, when it breaks this high after this hammer candle, that's your go signal for the long. I personally got long on this trade right in there somewhere. Can't remember my exact entry. And then it comes up. So what am I expecting next? Well, we've got to get back into the range from prior day. And first attempt, it fails, but it did get over this 2-minute EMA 12, which had been holding it down. Then sets a higher low, moves up into range again, can't quite get into the value area low of the day, comes down, can't break down below it again, and then starts to roll up. And if I remove the the replay mode from here, let's get back to it 1 second. Jump over here. There it is. So you see what happened for the rest of the day. It just kept going up and up and up. And actually, if you look at what happened the following day, it's even better. So let me jump to the 30 minutes. So you can see, go back over here. So pretty valiant move from this bottom that got set up and then sideways overnight, and then boom, first thing the next morning, rockets. And so beautiful, beautiful move, straight from 30-minute super stack oversold to 1 hour. So that means on the 5-minute, the 15-minute, the 30-minute, and this 60-minute time frame, all overbought at the same time. There's your signal that you might want to either cut the trade or take profit. And that was the high that it made. It was the short-term top. Then came in more on the following days before heading higher again. But either way, beautiful trade, well outlined by these indicators. So one more thing I'll just go over. What do these labels show you? So in RSI stacking labels, you have the option to show labels in any overbought or oversold conditions. So that's whether it's above 70 or below 30, it will show those labels. Or you can just say, well, I only want it to show in extreme conditions, and that being, those are defined down here. So overbought RSI is overbought at 70 and extreme at 75. Oversold RSI is oversold at 30, extreme oversold at 25. Those are just the defaults. You can change them to whatever you want them to be. And then, of course, you can do some styling on the labels to make them slightly different colors, depending on if it's this color here is represented if it's overbought. This one here is extreme overbought. And then this is the text color on the label. Pardon me, I've got a cold. Sorry about this. And so you can also change the size of the labels here. You can make them ridiculously big if you want to, but I personally don't want to see it that big. But maybe you have bad eyesight or something. So I give you the opportunity or the option to change it. And then finally, RSI length is the standard 14. And session, I use extended. I don't want to get into this too much because it's in the advanced area, but I draw all of my RSI or calculate all of my RSI using bars from regular trading hours and extended hours. So that is the indicator. I hope you love it as much as I do. I use this all the time, every day. It's on every single one of my charts, and it's one of the key things that I use for getting into trades.